Have you ever felt drained after spending time with a friend? Maybe they constantly bring drama and negativity into your life, or they might even make you feel guilty or ashamed for being yourself. If you can relate, you probably have a toxic friend in your life, but how can you spot them? And more importantly, how can Buddhist philosophy help you navigate these relationships? In this video, you and I will explore the telltale signs of a toxic friend and discover how Buddhist teachings can help you spot them and instead have stronger and healthier friendships. This video can change your social life forever. So, how do we decide if a friend is actually an enemy in disguise? The Buddha offers valuable insights on this topic in the Sigalovada Sutta, a Buddhist text that explores the concept of friendship. While some of these ideas might challenge your preconceptions, they can offer valuable wisdom. The Buddha referred to certain people as enemies who disguise as friends, but that doesn't mean we have to feel hostile towards them. In fact, Buddhism encourages us to approach such situations with love and compassion. We'll look at each type of toxic friend and discuss why it's best to avoid them. So get ready to dive into this enlightening Buddhist perspective on friendship and learn how to cultivate healthy relationships in your life. Let's start with the first type of toxic friend, the taker. This is the friend who only seems to take and take without giving anything in return. The Buddha says that there are 4 signs of a taker. They always take, they ask for a lot but give very little, they only do things out of fear, and they only offer their services if they can gain something in return. So basically, they're driven by their desires and are constantly on the lookout for ways to get what they want, even if it means using their friends. The thing about this type of friend is that they're always craving more. They can never seem to get enough, which makes them restless and unhappy on the inside. The worst part is they only take and never give back. They're like a parasite, sucking all the goodness out of the friendship. And if we keep sacrificing ourselves to meet their demands, we're not doing anyone any favors. In fact, we're just encouraging their bad behavior and hurting ourselves in the process. Remember, even the taker suffers from always wanting more. They miss out on the joy of genuine connection and the satisfaction of giving. It's best to avoid this kind of friend, but we can still approach the situation with love and compassion. Letting go of a toxic friendship is not just for our own protection, but also for our friends' well-being. It can help break them free from the cycle of neediness. Sometimes having a friend who talks a lot might seem like a good thing, but it's not always the case. They could use their words to trick and control you. If your friend talks a lot but doesn't actually do anything they say, then they might be toxic. The Buddha believes there are 4 ways to spot a talker. They remind you of their past generosity, promise to be generous in the future, say kind things but never mean them, and complain about their problems when you ask for their help. So what matters more, what someone says or what they do? A friend who talks a big game but doesn't follow through on anything is not a true friend. They might say all the right things, but their actions don't back it up. Words without action are just empty promises. People who are only interested in talking but don't do anything useful can be fun to be around, but they're not reliable or trustworthy. As the Sigalovada Sutta says, a true friend is someone who stands by you in tough times, not just someone who talks a good game. Flatterers are those who know exactly what to say to make you feel good and want to be around them. They use people's needs for compliments and approval to their advantage, but they're not really friends. If someone supports both your good and bad behavior, praises you to your face, and talks negatively behind your back, they're likely a flatterer, according to the Buddha. But don't be fooled by their compliments and false friendship, because flatterers lack integrity. They're only interested in stroking your ego and gaining your trust for their own benefit. And if they're talking badly about you behind your back, it's clear their flattery is just a manipulation tactic. Be cautious of flatterers because they can't distinguish right from wrong. They might even encourage you to engage in harmful behavior for their own amusement. So be mindful of their sweet words and don't let them deceive you. Some friends are just wild and carefree, always up for a good time no matter how dangerous it might be. The Buddha called these people reckless companions, and here's how you can spot them. They love to party, drink, gamble, and roam around late at night. The problem with these type of friends is that their restless, always on the go mentality can rub off on you. They're constantly chasing after the next high, flitting from one party to the next and never stopping to rest. And if you're not careful, you can end up getting caught up in their bad habits. The Buddha warned us about the dangers of hanging out with reckless companions. They're more likely to get into fights, lose all their money, ruin their reputation, get sick, and just generally be unhappy. Plus, they tend to attract other destructive people into their circle, which can lead to all kinds of trouble. So if you've got a friend who's always leading you astray, it might be time to reconsider that friendship. After pointing out these 4 enemies in disguise and how to spot them, the Buddha's advice is simple. Stay away from them. As he said, they're not really friends but enemies. Wise people understand this and keep them at arm's length, like they would a dangerous road. We can also use this Buddhist wisdom to check ourselves. Are we being toxic in our own friendships? Are we accidentally enemies disguised as friends to others? If we are, we can work on becoming better friends instead. But what does that even mean? The Sugalavarda Sutta has some good advice on who to hang out with. The Buddha says we should find good-hearted friends who fit into 4 categories: the helper, the friend who sticks with us through thick and thin, the mentor, and the compassionate friend. These people are good for us because they're positive, happy, and helpful. They make our lives better, not worse. In contrast, toxic friends bring us down and can be like crabs in a bucket, trying to pull us back down when we try to climb out. It's important to remember that avoiding toxic people doesn't mean we don't care about them or don't wish them well. It just means we care about ourselves too and don't want to be dragged down. So while the Buddha did encourage us to have compassion for all living things, that includes ourselves too. It's okay to set boundaries and choose to be around people who uplift us instead of dragging us down. It's all part of being kind to ourselves and others. Do you have a toxic friend in your life? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video interesting, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.